We are going to move to our second startup pitching session. We already had 5 this morning, and this time around, we are going to focus on startups from the ASEAN member states. This morning was about Korea. Now, ASEAN, we've got 10 startups from various countries, various sectors and stages to satisfy your appetite, so to speak. So, we're going to break these 10 companies into two. So, 5 startups each will be vying for your attention. Again, you'll be able to address your questions in the digital booth if you're on the Switch platform. If you're on YouTube Live, you can also perhaps leave your questions in the comments section. And if our presenters do have time within the 10-minute allocation, they may or may not address those questions. We'll leave it to them to manage their time. All right, let's start off with our first startup. Looking for attention for the next 10 minutes. Let's give our attention to Pro Zima. Take it away.
Hi, hello. My name is Hawa. I'm from Proxima Technologies. I'm the co-founder and tech director of this company, cosmetic tech company. So we're playing. So technology is cocoa-based cosmetics, and we had partnered with Malaysian Cocoa Board, which a responsible for the development of cocoa industry in Malaysia, because Malaysia is the fourth largest cocoa producer in the world, and we have the Malaysian Technology Development Corporation, and after that we partnered Malaysian Cocoa Board to take VR tech and which is EMI and Dash. And the main problem of using the existing conventional cosmetic products are their inability to fully protect the dangerous rays from sun exposure, because sunscreens only protect sunburn, but it doesn't protect sun rays. And there are a lot of doubtful ingredients of prohibited components in the formulation of cosmetic. This will increase the risk of premature aging and skin cancer development. So with the relation to the technology, our cocoa-based extracts infused in this cosmetic, which has eminent photoprotective capacity and antioxidant properties, are safe for the skin. And other issues regarding conventional cosmetics are it is happening in Southeast Asia, where a village hunts and roasts thousands of geckos to be used in cosmetics. So cosmetics are basically are products that we use every day, but in this particular country, they use these geckos as an agent to curb skin allergies and itchiness, and those geckos are sold for $18 per kilogram. And with the current technology that we're having, with the incorporation of cocoa butter, cocoa mass, and cocoa powder, as well as cocoa liquor, it is very efficient to actually inhibit the anti-aging process, because in our dermis layer of skin, it is comprises of 70 to 80% of collagen, and this will provide structural stability to the skin structure. However, collagen is easily dismantled by their enzyme, which is collagenase, and another one, elastin, dismantled by elastase enzyme. And with the bioactive ingredients of epicatechin in the cocoa products, it has the acceleration of the skin aging. And we have actually 5 products under our cocoa-based cosmetic line, which is compact powder, blemish balm cream, liquid foundation, and loose powder and blusher. And the main function of cosmetic, as we know, we wish to enhance and manipulate the biological cues, biological cues on our faces, and which is the color of skin, the symmetry, and the light of our skin. Apart from being able to enhance that, it is remarkably excellent in improving um, skin structure and improve the expression of collagen by the incorporation of vitamin C in the cocoa extract. It is beneficial in protecting against free radicals. Okay, moving on to the highlights of the results of the testimony of the products. We have actually tested to 20 respondents, which comprises from 3 different races of Malay, Indian, and Chinese. And we highlighted the remarkable transformation. And after 2 months of application, the visible wrinkle had subsided. And this is actually a constant application and help to improve the skin's health. And other than that, we also tested on the skin surface transformation in terms of volumetric enhancement. And it is apparently an excellent remark where constant topical application will not only beautifying the skin, but increase the swelling of the stratum corneum of the skin cell which has proven to increase elastin and collagen production in the skin. So we are in Southeast Asia, and we are actually targeting towards people who are searching for halal and progressive scientific cosmetic products in Asia. In Malaysia itself, we are spending almost 1.8 ringgit Malaysia billion, 1.8 billion ringgit spending on cosmetics, targeting on anti-aging products will be favorable after this. And we are projecting that we going to grow because at this moment we are in the first year of pre-commercialization phase of technology validation and market validation. And our strength is because I'm from a biotechnology background, I have the understanding of the science of the cosmetic and the science of skin. And apart from being that, we wish to be registered under BioNexus Biotech Corp Malaysia. And with the experience from our team member, which is a professional makeup artist, from her perspective, she can actually leverage the technology to promote and actually to increase awareness of the natural based products. So in the near future, we are actually gonna distribute and doing technology validation and market validation locally in Malaysia, where we products. So I think that's about it, about our humble tech. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, we just heard from Proxima talking about cocoa-based cosmetics. Could that be the way of the future? We do apologize if the connection breaks at any point because we are connecting with various countries all around the region. It can be quite a challenge to manage at time. But if you do miss out on anything because of a poor connection, we urge you to head over to the digital booths within the Switch platform. That's where you can find out more information. Of course, leave your questions to these startups. All right, let's move on to our next startup. For the next 10 minutes, let's give attention to Tria. Over to you.
Hello, good afternoon. Let me see whether I can have my slides up. There you go. Okay, So, and organizers is a go. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead. Please, if you can follow on my prompt in terms of the slide switch. The slides are moving on. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Pei Kang. I'm from Tria. So Tria is a footwear company based in Singapore. And I think, one thing that we have been working on, which is quite exciting, is about how we can turn this food packaging waste into more, we can valorize them into useful waste after. So we have been mentioned by our Deputy Prime Minister Heng in last year's Singapore budget. And we have been, so far been quite lucky to be featured on quite a few platforms. So just a brief background of the company. So we have already crossed $1 million mark in terms of revenue. We have been in operation for the last 4 years, and we've been doubling our revenue every year. So we got a few accolades, and in this case, I also for the Emerging Enterprise Award, and we also been strongly supported by Enterprise. Next slide, please. So let us spend some time understanding the problem that we're trying to address. So if you look at the image in the middle, right, which is a Starbucks cup. Now, this is a single-use food packaging that is really not addressed today. When I mean not addressed, after it gets thrown away, where does the waste go? I think that's the question to ask. So what we call this is the end of life problem. So unfortunately, no matter what material it is, okay, whether it's compostable, recyclable, biodegradable, most of this waste gets incinerated or goes to the landfill anyway. Okay, and why is that so? It's like if you look at the picture on the left-hand side, now that is the max that you can expect in terms of food packaging waste. In this case, the more technical term, food service packaging. Okay, so because you have the oil from food, it is messy, it is thrown together with food, and that in itself actually don't make it very interesting for recyclers, because recyclers, they want your dry and clean waste, not your wet and messy waste. So pretty much this area of waste is unaccounted for. Nobody is interested in it. Okay, and in order, there are some efforts to try to recycle them, but in order to do that, you have to segregate the waste. And what does that mean? So this means that you need to have more human labor, all right, to basically separate the packaging from the food waste so that the food waste can be recycled or the packaging waste can be recycled. Okay, bad news is we've been trying that for the last 15 years. It does not work. Why does it not work? Because it's a matter of cost. If you look at the Starbucks cup in the middle, that costs you 10 cents. It costs you an additional 20 cents to segregate the waste. So this, as much as it seems like a casual problem, but this is the roadblock to to recycling of food service packaging and food service waste. So there are efforts. If you look at the right-hand side, there are efforts, for some companies whereby they come out with more biodegradable material, only to realize that the industrial composting grounds are not taking them. Okay, so today more than half of industrial composting grounds do not take such waste because they take too long to biodegrade. It takes up to 180 days. So, as you can see, this is a multifaceted problem that the industry faces. And, it is also symbolizes how complex it can be when it comes to recycling. So let's move on. So our solution here, we are not focused, we're not just focused on the material. Okay, material is one side of the story. Okay, yes, you can say it's biodegradable, recyclable, compostable, but that's a promise. If it's not composted, if it's not recycled, if it's not biodegraded, it's still back to square one. So we are focused on impact. Okay, our waste, when we collect them back, we turn them into compost, we bring them to the farm. Next page, please. And this is a program that we call Bio24. This is a closed loop solution, all right, that we think conveniently address food service waste. Next page. So if you look at this, there are two parts to the solution. In short, I'm just going to drop a few keywords: extended producer's responsibility. So so if you look at the packaging that we provide in the middle, we can basically replicate all the different packaging that McDonald's or KFC uses today. okay? And after it's being used and thrown, in this messy waste, all right, so-called messy waste that you see in the bubble, it's actually no longer messy. It is just one single organic waste stream, okay? And we have developed a technology whereby we can break down, okay, the plant-based material that we're using into compost within 24 hours, okay? And just to give you a quick illustration, reaching out to grab some cutleries. If you look at the video here, this is our plant-based material that we can basically mold it into a knife. Okay, 2 mm thick bioplastic, becoming compost in 24 hours. This is unheard of. This is a world-first technology that we don't know any other competitor who is even close to where we are. So back to the slide, please. So this, what you see here, this is a two-part solution. Basically, our material, plant-based, and we are able to accelerate the digestion of this rapidly within a day. And for the compost, we bring it back to the farms. Next page. So as I mentioned before, we can replicate everything that's on the fast food menu today, from cutleries, from trays, from cups, to stirrers, to serviettes. Next page. And just to illustrate the process that you see from the bottom left to the bottom right within 24 hours. And what is the picture that you see on the top right-hand side? This is our demonstration digester. It's a one-ton digester that's based in Singapore. So it's a full end-to-end process. Next page. I will skip the video part, but if anyone's interested, I'm happy to send you guys a YouTube link that you can watch it yourself. Next page. So what does this mean, to the fast food, to the McDonald's, to the KFC? So first thing, all right, McDonald's by 2025, they have said that they're committed to either a recycling or a compostable direction. I think that's encouraging. But the truth is, there is no real solution on the market today. If you want to recycle, as I mentioned, recycle costs you too much. Okay, so our solution is actually the cheapest solution that McDonald's can turn to. Okay, we provide the foodware to them and we collect back the waste for digestion. Next page. So just a quick comparison between the so-called state of art when it comes to waste collection. If you look at the left-hand side, unfortunately for most waste today in a modern urban society like Singapore or even Japan, most waste are incinerated. Okay, so there is a new sliver whereby we are trying to recycle. Just for your information, recycling rate in Singapore for plastics is 4%. It is not high. As much effort as we have emphasized, it is still very low because of the need to segregate. So segregation is a big issue. And so what we're saying here is on the third column, right? This is what we think makes sense. This is for organic brown waste. Okay, when I say organic waste stream, so food waste now is a topic that we have been addressing for the last few years. Okay, rightly so, because wet food waste stream doesn't go well with incineration. Because it's wet, it doesn't burn well. So now what we're saying is basically for your foodware, food packaging waste, anything that's been stained with food, it makes natural sense to be clustered together with organic waste stream, and that is what we call a brown waste stream. Next page. So I wouldn't go through too much in detail. Basically, life cycle analysis, right? Basically from factory, beyond just the factory gate, all the way through transportation to collect back, and how the compost is sequestered, right, for new growing of trees and for crops. Next page. Okay, so we are looking for partners, who believe that it is possible to go circular. Okay, so if you are a fast food brand, if you are a food service provider, now we would love to speak to you to say how we can bring this world-first technology to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. So we just heard from Tria. All right, we've heard from two startups from around the ASEAN region. It's time now to turn our attention to our next one. For the next 10 minutes, we hand things over to iPrice. All yours.
Hi, my name is David. I'm the co-founder of iPrice. Very, very glad to be here participating on today's conference. iPrice is a company out of Southeast Asia, and I will share in the next 10 minutes what we're doing and why we are excited about doing it here in the region. I will now test whether the clicker works. Yes, it does. Perfect. So the fundament for our business has been that Southeast Asian e-commerce is becoming increasingly competitive market. Global giants like Alibaba, Amazon, Tencent are coming to Southeast Asia, fighting with local champions, often backed by big families of the Southeast Asian countries. And that big fight is creating an enormously great environment for an e-commerce aggregator. And that's what we have been building for the last 6 years. iPrice is a leading e-commerce aggregator, and you can think of it as Danawa, Nuri, or Naver Shopping of Southeast Asia. That is also the reason why Naver has invested in our Series A as the largest investor and follow on in the Series B round. We started originally as a latecomer in the game. On this chart, you can see the GMV run rate, which each of the aggregators in Southeast Asia was driving. And as you can see, we currently are 5 times largest than our next best competitor. And this is driven by a combination of very localized approach. We as founders, we moved to Southeast Asia, we live there, the whole team is in Southeast Asia, but at the same time, combined with the ability to deploy world-class technologies. There's one specific when it comes to e-commerce of Southeast Asia, and that's the fact that the market is extremely messy. On the left side of this chart, I've put together a comparison on how an iPhone 11 search results looks like. And if you go to the Amazon in the US, you get some 70 or above 100, maybe close to 200 search results of iPhone 11. Typically, combination of the various memory sizes and colors and the different variants like Pro and the standard one. If you go to Flipkart in India, it's pretty much the same experience. You get a couple dozens results. If you go to Coupang in Korea, again, very similar experience. If you filter for iPhone 11, you get, I think, 26, which is the exact number of combinations of variants. Now, if you go to one of the marketplaces in Southeast Asia, the experience is very different. You get hundreds of thousands results. Here I am pointing a company called Tokopedia, which is the leading marketplace in Indonesia. You have close to 1 million results, and these are mobile phones, phone cases, cables. It's all messed in one. These are used and new products, refurbished, smuggled from China without warranty. Anything you can imagine is part of that e-commerce experience. And that's where iPrice comes very handy for the users, because it helps them to navigate through the mess. Some of the properties of our aggregated catalog are mentioned on the right side. The one number which I would pinpoint is 6 billion. We have currently 6 billion items in our database. That's how massive the catalog of Southeast Asia became over the years. And that naturally makes it very difficult for users to navigate through. By becoming the leading e-commerce aggregator, we turned profitable. We had EBIT profitability by the end of 2018, but we decided that the opportunity is bigger and raised a Series B round to turn us as iPrice from the largest e-commerce aggregator into an online shopping companion, a place where Southeast Asian shoppers would start their online journey. And we would do it by focusing on 2 dimensions. One, to drive further scale, and the other to deepen the relationship with the users. When it comes to scale, our original strategy was website based, as we saw with many of our role models. We were getting organic traffic from Google, and we're converting this one to happy shoppers. But Southeast Asia is a mobile-only market. And as such, people spend, relatively speaking, much less time in browser, and they spend more time in the various apps, or super apps, as it is a fancy term these days. So what we started doing is that we started bringing that e-commerce content we built, that price comparison, product discovery, and started bringing that into those super apps. On the screenshot, you see two examples. Let me maybe mention Line, which you might be familiar with, which is the chat app. They have a Line Shopping, and in Indonesia, Line Shopping is fully powered by iPrice. By penetrating those super apps enabled us to see a 2.6x growth year over year in terms of the number of people we get reach to. And we're currently ranging close to 35 million people visiting our platform on a monthly basis, and are having our own iPrice website plus additional 15 partners where we expose iPrice content to. Our pipeline is very strong, and that has been further propelled by COVID-19. Many of the super apps are looking for additional engagement opportunities and online elements where users can spend more time in those apps. So our pipeline has been very strong, and we are very confident we'll continue driving further scale by onboarding more partners. When it comes to deepening user relationships, we started as a traditional aggregator, whereby at the end of journey on iPrice, you are redirected to our partner, e-commerce merchant, where you can finalize your purchase. However, in the mobile-only world, what we realize is that the transfer between an app to another app can be quite breaking experience, and users are not preferring that. And as such, what we've developed was a fully integrated solution, and you see a screenshot on the slide now, whereby in an app, and here is an example of our partner Home Credit, we provide, as an integrated provider, we provide the e-commerce content, the price comparison, product discovery, but the user can also directly order the product from the app, and in this case, pay with a consumer loan provided by Home Credit. It's a consumer loans provider. And as such, the user is having access to the whole breadth of Southeast Asian e-commerce within his favorite app, and with the ability to finalize the purchase within one environment, and in this case on top, leveraging the services of that company. What's really exciting about those initiatives is that by deepening the user relationship, we're also seeing extension of our margin, because we do control that transaction. And as such, we're seeing a monetization growth of 3 to 5x compared to a traditional path where we redirect the user to one of the marketplaces. So this has been a story of iPrice, a company, an e-commerce aggregator, which became an undisputed leader in its field. But after raising Series B, further investing into generating much more scale and deepening the relationship with its users. We're about to start fundraising next year. So I'll be very happy to get in touch with any of you who might be interested in being part of our journey. So feel free to contact me on those contact details, david@ipricegroup.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We just heard from iPrice. Again, if you want to find out more about the startups that have been presenting, you can always head to their digital booths. All right, time to give the next 10 minutes to our next startup from the ASEAN region. For this, we welcome InfoFed. It's over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharanya from InfoFed. At InfoFed, we empower people with our creative technologies. We are the leading esports company in Thailand, aiming to build and cutting-edge online esports arena to connect Southeast Asia gamers under one platform. We have developed the tournament as an academies program for Southeast Asia gamers to realize their full potential and be able to get success recognition. Let's start with our milestones. We start off with establishing our very own arena in the heart of Bangkok City, Thailand Esports Arena. And the success of the arena gained the interest of the company, helping us raise the seed round. We built an ecosystem within Thailand by launching esports tournaments, open up our production service team, and finally launching our very own platform. Major telco company as well as the government has us backing up in our esports ventures. Now we are expand our platform aggressively to Southeast Asia with an aim to build a well-established ecosystem. And we believe that this will give the opportunity to the esport enthusiasm to find the right career path in the industry. Our existing investor now is KK Fund, EventPop, Deeper, DTech, and GameWith. We got a well recognition as an outstanding startup business from the related associations and media partner. Next, please. Our target users, for the target users, our target user is being a savvy gamers who are passionate about playing games and are actively participate in the tournaments with having their own teams and never shy in buying their ways into the best experience in esports. After an extensive research, we came across the biggest problems facing by everyday gamers in Southeast Asia. Inefficiency performance tracking system, language barrier in the regional tournaments, and of course, unclear career path for the esports players to pursue. Here's come our solutions. With our earena.com and online esports arena, we'll be able to tackle all the main problems faced by everyday gamers. And the success recognition esports tournaments programs such as Zero to Hero will kickstart their esports career. For earena.com, since the launch of the platform, we have hosted more than 90 tournaments across Southeast Asia. And with the platform key features, we have designed the best performance tracking system, which allow the users to track their performance by individuals, teams, and tournaments they have been participating, helping them improve and moving forward. We have localized the platform in multiple languages, covering Southeast Asia, so the gamer in the regions can participate and communicate with each others, breaking the language barriers. With our chatbot is there to take the user into the esport journey on the platform, helping them whenever they need. We currently have almost like 50,000 players registered on our platform, and with 80% of them actively participate in an ongoing activities on the platform. Across all tournaments, we have accumulated more than 100 million viewers online across multiple streaming channels. For the Zero to Hero program, as a content model on the platform, Zero to Hero program is the esports tournament platform that uniquely developed to enable the gamers to start their esports career, realize their full potential, and level up along the way to reach the top. Which we start from level 1, We create a community tournaments as an academy background for Southeast Asia gamers to practice their skill and to get the opportunity to pursue for the further level in esports. Then but next level would be the national league, which we will bring the talent from the academy to come to get the chance to compete in the national level to get the success recognition. And at the end, for level 3, we bring the best to the top of Southeast Asia for the regional cup. With the technologies of Virtual Studio, our plug and play Virtual Studio and in-house production team are one of the key competitive advantage for scaling our online esports tournament within the regions. Esports has growing rapidly across the world, where Southeast Asia is being the fastest growing market in the world with a revenue of 4.4 billion in 2019 and continue moving forward in the coming years, especially on the mobile gamings. By having our own arenas for online and offline, well-equipped studios and running various academy programs with many communities, making us as a one-stop esports solutions provider, giving us a competitive edge within the regions. We have been working with various partners in the esports ecosystem who involve, in all part of the ecosystem over the past year, including the game publishers, brands, government agency, and events organizations or the streaming channels would make us have a strong relationship with them. About the team, for the revenue model, our current revenue model is based on B2B, which is the next stage. We will add B2C once our subscription model is implemented from zero to hero program. Team, we believe in teamwork, of course. Our management team is very dynamic in terms of background experience. Founder is recognized as a pioneer in esports industry in Thailand. Management team has varied business expertise and being an esports insider. Our CMO started her career at C Thailand's business development team leader is even be a professional players for more than 10 years. For the plans that we have achieved target revenue, of course, in 2019 and it's coming 2020s and target to grow in the coming years. Now we are seeking for the Series A funding for $3 million USD. Of course, with the objective is to grow community through our platform by adding more tournaments to attract the savvy gamers. Next is to scale earena.com and Zero to Hero program to Southeast Asia countries. We are having a strong position in Thailand, of course, and scale business to Myanmar already in this years. We target to continue growing in other countries in the coming years. And of course, the last is to develop the advanced technology in order to enhance our user experience and platform functions. Well, we have a passion in what we do and where we want to be. We unforfeit. We empower people with the creative technology. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We just heard from InfoFed talking about esports. How about that? All right, one more startup pitch for this segment. And for the next 10 minutes, we hand the floor over to Pixibo.
Hi there, good afternoon. My name is Rohit Kumar. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pixibo. We are a fashion tech company solving for the return rate problem in online fashion. Or I'm going to see if this clicker works. Okay, so here we have the return rate of the 3 largest online fashion companies in the world. So you'll see between them, they have $5 billion of returned inventory. So that's just 3 companies, 1 year. That should give you a sense of the scale of the problem that returns represents in online fashion. Now, typically online fashion retailers have adopted a very formulaic approach towards handling returns. So think about it from a shopper or a consumer perspective. When you buy something online and you change your mind, and you request for a return, that triggers a whole series of events, which results in the product making its way all the way back towards in the logistics chain, all the way back to the warehouse, and then it gets listed again on the website. But actually, sometimes if you think about it in fast fashion, when margins are really small, you actually have scenarios where a retailer is spending probably 4 or 5 times more than it costs them simply to take the product back. So what we also have is the fashion industry has evolved a fair bit, and now we have different types of operators. We have different business models. We have discount retailers, wholesalers, pre-owned marketplaces, C2C marketplaces. So the question we are asking is, what if returned inventory could actually move forward in the value chain and could become a source of supply for some of these alternative players in the fashion industry? So the idea is to use data and technology to move returned inventory forward to the next best channel. Is that even worth doing? How big is the opportunity? Turns out it's a pretty massive market. So the size of the online apparel and footwear market globally is about $250 billion. Assuming a 20% return rate, which is pretty conservative, you have about $50 billion worth of product that's sort of circulating in terms of returns. So there is potential for a returns management platform to pretty much extract $250 million, about $250 million a year in fees. And that's a category that hasn't been created. That's a category that no one is looking at. So really what we want to show retailers is a path to zero return. So take on this problem and show them there's a way to solve this. And we do that in stages. I think of the story of Pixibo in chapters as well. And so the first chapter for us was, and A is all about preventing returns in online fashion at the point of purchase. We do that with Find Your Fit, which is our flagship product. I'll talk more about that in a second. The second chapter is about optimizing the return process by launching an experience store for online fashion, what we're calling the Pixibo Fit Center. And finally, with Pixibo Returns Management, rerouting returned inventory to alternative sources of demand. So let's talk about Find Your Fit. So if you've shopped online for clothes, you'll probably be very familiar with this problem. The fashion industry is one of the few industries where there is no standardization. So especially in size, there is no standardization. A kilometer is a kilometer everywhere, but a size 12 in one brand would be completely different from a size 12 in another brand. We make that problem go away. So that's what Find Your Fit does. We take the static size chart, which is pretty much not changed in more than a decade, and we transform that into actionable size advice that's personalized for every shopper and for every single product that they look at. Now, Find Your Fit moves the needle on pretty much all of the metrics that an e-commerce retailer cares about. So typically, we reduce return rates by 7 to 11%. We increase conversion rates just because shoppers have a lot more confidence when you tell them their size, but between 35 to 75%. We increase the average order value. Shoppers who use Pixibo tend to buy more. And we reduce size sampling, which is the incidence of buying multiple sizes of the same product. We are the market leader here in Asia. We work with pretty much all of the large online fashion brands. So that includes players like Zalora in Singapore and Southeast Asia, MAP in Indonesia, Fashion Valley in Malaysia, Shinsegae in Korea, and quite a few in Europe as well. So the second step in our journey, and this is something that is literally launching in a few weeks, is the launch of what we call the Pixibo Fit Center, which is an experience store for online fashion. So this is us actually venturing out into the real world and using physical spaces, but custom-built physical spaces for online fashion. So what is a Pixibo Fit Center? It's a space where shoppers will be able to pick up their online fashion purchases, try on the items, and pay only for the items they want to keep. We handle all of the returns. So the idea is to combine the pickup, try on, and return process into one single transaction. Why Pixibo Fit Center? And from a shopper perspective, if you ask them, hey, listen, what do you not like about online fashion? You'll hear consumers tell you about the inefficient 3-step process, the fact that I have to buy something, get it delivered, try it on, and then request a return, the hassle of returns management, having to book a return and then request for the return and verify if that happens. So actually, by combining all of that, it really elevates the experience for shoppers. On the retail side, what happens, consumers don't see this, but the moment you decide you don't want a product, that is a product that remains out of circulation for the retailer for about 30 days. So between the shopper saying, hey, I want to return this product, and it actually coming back into circulation and being listed, it can sometimes take about 30 to 35 days. We can reduce that by about 70% by making that decision instant via our experience centers. So the way this would work is with the launch of a service called Try Before You Buy. And you as a shopper, you would browse across your favorite online fashion websites as you normally would, and you'd see on the product page eligible for Try Before You Buy. Try Before You Buy is exactly what it says on the tin. You select the products you want, you send it to our fit center, which is the first one is going to be in Somerset in the Center Point Mall in Singapore, where you try them on and you only pay for the items after you know it fits you and after you know that you want it. There'll be different types of fit centers. So the fit center that we're launching is what we call an experience fit center. So this is an O&O fit center, completely owned and operated by us. In the future, we expect there to be different types of fit centers. So we would have partner fit centers, and we would also have fully automated self-service fit kiosks as well. So yeah, once again, what we're really trying to do here is build the technology stack for the full spectrum of the return rate problem in online fashion. So again, reduce returns at the point of purchase in online fashion using Find Your Fit, our AI-powered size recommendation platform. Optimize returns using our network of fit centers, the experience store for online fashion, which combines the pickup, try on, and return process into one experience. And finally, resell returned inventory and move it forward in the value chain by leveraging alternative sources of demand. So yeah, it's a big mission. It's a big problem. We're always looking for partners to join us on this journey. If this sounds interesting, and if you want to know more than this 600-second pitch, drop me an email, rohit@pixibo.com, and I'll be more than happy to chat. Thank you so much for listening.
And thank you very much for your pitch. We heard from 5 startups, the likes of Proxima, Tria, iPrice, InfoFit, as well as Pixibo.